With all the sudden outbreaks of diseases such as Ebola and the Zika virus, it's easy to overlook one of the most important health statistics of our time: mental illnesses. What are mental illnesses and how do they affect the health of the population? A mental illness, according to the American Psychiatric Association, is a condition that involves changes in cognitive thinking, emotions, and behaviors. A mental illness can be associated with problems or stresses at school, at work, at home, or even in your social environment. In developing countries like South Africa, mental health care is not accepted as a health priority. And the reasoning behind this is influenced by social aspects such as religion, culture, values, and norms in society. The lack of societal support, global mental health consensus, treatment, policies, and delivering of health interventions create barriers to recognizing and improving mental health care. Mental illnesses that affect our local societies are depression, bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, and other psychosis, dementia, intellectual disabilities, and developmental disorders such as autism. One would hope that with the emergence of new treatment and globalization, that mental illnesses would be the least of our worries, but it's not. It still affects our children who commit suicide and our older generation with chronic dementia. Depression, which is the most prevalent, affects around 300 million people around the world, and more men are affected than women. Why is this? One assumption that could be made is that men work in more stressful environments than women do, but we all know that it's not true. My assumption would be that women care more about their mental health than men do. Whilst depression takes center stage in the mental health industry, South Africa's mental health workforce is held to a bare minimum, with about 0.3 psychiatrists, 0.3 psychologists, and 0.4 social workers for every 100,000 residents in South Africa. Whereas Brazil has an estimated amount of 3.07 psychiatrists, 9.60 psychologists, and 1.02 social workers for every 100,000 residences. So what's the real problem? And how is mental health really affecting the health of our population? Some contributing factors to the issue of mental health could be shortages of staff, treatment, lack of recognition through the health system, and lack of education. Another contributing factor could be stigma. Its impact on health can be damaging and can limit access to mental health care, which in turn affects the health of the population. Mental health care is often denied because societies fear that the mentally ill are dangerous, incompetent, unpredictable, and responsible for their own illnesses. But I say, it's because individuals are not educated enough about mental illnesses. They often believe the lies they are being told, and they are so set in their ways that they find it hard to relate to individuals with these illnesses. My hopes is to bring awareness through education and new innovation through research.
Created using Powtoon.